right, and we are live. Iron Law Podcast, LawsAndGaming.net. I am Lord Cognito, and who is this fine gentleman we have at the realm of Pax East today?
Will Kinsler, Communications Director with Steel City Interactive.
Steel City Interactive, and we are here to check out Undisputed.
Yes.
Tell us about Undisputed.
So Undisputed is the first major boxing game in over a decade. It's been a while, right? You know,
yes.
I think, you know, we feel like boxing, gaming fans deserve a boxing title.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
We're a small indie studio based in the UK, in Sheffield, which is a bit of a boxing hub in the UK.
UK to build.
So our studio was founded in order to make this game.
DC, that's nice. Keep going.
We started with three brothers in the living room. You know, who were like, nobody's making this game. Why don't we try to do it ourselves? Let's figure out how do we start this up. And over the years, we got a lot of support from the local boxing community in Sheffield. Come in, help us motion capture, help us figure out what the fighters do. And over the years, the boxing community has really rallied around this game. So that's the reason why a small studio in the UK can sign names like Muhammad Ali.
Yes, I saw all that.
None of that.
Ready to go? So our game is in early access right now on Steam.
So don't press fight yet.
End of January in early access. So we're just kicking it off.
Okay, okay.
You know, we're going to be launching on console as well.
Shaun Porter, looking like Shaun Porter.
Okay.
Even with the whatchamacallit, battle stars.
This is a reminder that Pax East 2020
has the largest roster ever in a boxing.
massive event.
Around 60 fighters.
All attendees, exhibitors, enforcers must be wearing a mask at all times. You must please be sure to make your way to the nearest designated area before removing your mask.
Our game is all about authentic boxing, right? You know, being thoughtful in the ring, manage your stamina. There's over 60 different punches, right? A jab is not just a jab. A jab might be a forward jab, it might be a back jab. You might jab and pivot.
Round bomb, original.
A shot.
We're
really trying to recreate an authentic boxing experience, whether it's how you move inside the ring, whether it's fighters that you see, you know, guys that are walking the ring walk.
Yeah.
They don't let them get all the way to the ring.
You know, that we know in the UK.
Nice.
You know, you got Jimmy Lennon Jr. calling
Jimmy Lennon.
calling out the fighters as they come in.
They got Roy Peanut Head.
Okay.
We're trying to do everything that we can to recreate the
Well,
boxing.
first of all, I gotta say,
Roy.
this
They got
looks
Roy.
phenomenal. What engine are we using?
Yeah, so our game is on Unity. We're actually right now also out at GDC talking about building the game in their engine. You know,
They got Joe, whatchamacallit, his brown gloves.
You
see the eyes, right?
For all the current fighters, we scan them.
They got the old gloves.
You know, at a studio called 1024 that we work really closely with all the fighters of today.
Light sources were nuts.
Scan them right into the game. And so that's why you're seeing some of these likenesses that look
Like
great.
spot
But
on.
even for, you know, we're looking at Joe Lewis a minute ago.
Right,
For the legends, you know, we have, you know, our artists painstakingly sculpt them to make them look as real as they possibly can. And so yeah, hopefully it feels good. Roy Jones, I know you said he's your guy.
That's my guy.
He's been really awesome to work with. When we saw his model in the game, he was like, you guys can't put me in the game without letting me do my own motion capture.
Roy did motion for you?
He actually came out. Check out
the old school Roy, the Captain Hook.
Yeah, check out
Let's
his
get it.
title. So all these punches you're seeing, that's all Roy right
That's
there.
okay.
Yeah.
That is what's up. So tell us about the challenges. Again, this is such an ambitious product. So many fighters. Then you got classes, you got women's division.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the challenges to get people to sign on to this project when there hasn't been a boxing game in so long since the original fighter?
Yeah, I mean everything's hard when you're in the studio, right?
Yes.
Right.
And cosmic.
I think it comes down to a couple of things. I think, you know, one, you know, we started out with probably a little bit even less ambition than where we are today, right? Like we had sort of a modest scope for the game, and what we found out is that, you know, while things are hard and it was hard to try to get attention to the game early on, once that happened, once people in the boxing scene realize what we're doing, you know, they've all rallied around us and helped us, right? So fighters are helping us get in contact with fighters. We have people that we work with really closely in the world of boxing. Todd Grisham, who does commentary in our game, has helped us sign a lot of the fighters. The WBC has helped us sign, you know, get in touch with fighters. And that's one of the great things about this is that, you know, boxing fans, they want a boxing game more than anybody else. People that work with and are in the sport of boxing, they want a boxing game more than anybody else. And so that's really why we're here, right? Like, there's our passion and dedication, but it's also about the support of people in boxing and people that are fans of boxing games. Like, you know, we have a Discord, right? We have, you know, up for a couple of years, and there's people in there every day, you know, sign this fighter, you know, does it have, can you do this, can you do that, and so it's really the support, and obviously we're in early access right now, so all that support is, you know, what you're seeing on screen today is really, it's hard work with a lot of people on our team, but it's also supports so much.
Look at his face. It's amazing to see.
How Unity's transferred to pipelines, is that
I want to see the facial because Roy takes up to the
I'm
face.
a super non-technical person, but you know that we're going to talk today at
GDC,
where we're talking about.
And that side of his face is messed up, boy.
Probably something they're talking about. I'm just not the guy to tell you.
No, you good. Now, this you can see is a labor of love. We'd love to see boxing, the boxing community get behind something like this, support something like this. You mentioned like the WBC, right? How was it as far as the challenge as far as getting? Because that to me is super ambitious, even to get them involved in a game like that.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure how the first conversation started. I think it's one of these things that once you have certain fighters in the game and you know certain number of licenses, like people started coming to us. I'm not sure about the WBC when that first
Roy.
happened.
Yeah,
right? So
Roy.
They've helped put us in touch with a lot of fighters.
We got you out there first round, Roy. Touch you up, Roy.
It's really just the boxing community.
Hey, come here, Roy. You like to hug. You was hugging the last match, right? Yeah, teach you how to hug, Roy.
Oh, okay, got you. Now we got King and Lord Saul getting into it. King is bullying with the legend Lewis over Roy, but we're gonna let that rock. Continue.
I'm gonna ask you guys to try something out for me, okay? So I want you both to press up on your D-pad one time, and when you do that, you'll see press up on the D-pad. Now when you move around, this is called loose movement. So your hands are a little bit lower. Let's get loose!
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Let's get loose with it.
Yeah, Roy, get loose. Come here, Roy. I want you loose.
So you can toggle in and out of that.
Yeah. Come here, Roy. Loose, Roy.
I like that. A lot of more of a free-flowing style. Now, are there disadvantages to being in that loose style?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your hands are down.
Yeah, hands down. You clip.
So when you block, you know, but yeah, I mean, you're more likely to, you know, to hit a flash knockdown or a flash KO. Gotcha. So, you know, we want boxing, a lot of boxing is about choice, right? It's like in variety in the styles of fights, right? So it's about, do I want to be a front
that side of your head is gonna be purple.
You know, do I want to be a counter puncher? You know, fighting people on the edge. Like, we want to be able to give people those sort of.
I'm gonna bust that side of your face.
To be able to allow for the different styles of play.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Roy, you looking kind of shaky, Roy. You looking kind of shaky, Roy.
We're in trouble. Get out of here, son. Get out of here.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So I'm biased. Well, moving on. What we're gonna do?
Yeah, Roy. Like how you feeling?
For a single player. We're thinking about having maybe a career mode might be ambitious with licensed fighters, but is there a single player mode? This is more of a head-to-head competitive with your favorite fighter.
So today, you know, we're light on modes, right? Again, early, you know, small studio early on. We're just getting started with early access. But we got you. We got a career mode coming. Career mode's gonna be coming during early access.
Nice.
You know, we're not ready to give like a ton of details about it. But you gotta do that, right? Like you gotta you want to be able to do that career with Roy.
Absolutely.
So we have career mode coming. We have creative fighters coming.
Nice.
Right now we already have online play, so people are playing online. But yeah, we want to make it as fully featured as possibly.
You must have forgot you ain't a heavyweight. Lay down.
Oh, you got my man stretched
Lay down.
out.
Stay down. Sound good over here.
Okay, so left and right trigger, hold left and right trigger. You got to manage both of them in there at the same time.
Help, Roy.
We done.
Roy, stretch. Oh, no.
gotta hold them together.
Delete the footage.
Keep it all the way to the top.
Delete the footage.
Help, Roy. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, when you ain't gotta grab somebody all the time. You understand?
We're coming from the Street Fighter
You
demo.
know,
This is payback.
And how the jab work, like what I was doing, I was keeping him on the outside, and every time he came close, I just shot the right over the top.
True heavyweight Roy Jones.
Yeah. Stop, explain what happened.
Don't come in with your built-in stories.
All I did, I went in there. I said, you know, let's try, you know, different characters. You know, I'm gonna go Roy Jones.
What I would tell him to do is
so he goes and he
he
says,
like for real.
oh, let me take, you know, regular Joe Schmo, Joe Lewis. The Brown Bomber, one of the greatest of all time.
It ain't my fault that he didn't respect history. If you don't respect history, you doomed to repeat it.
Okay, real quick. Come on, real quick.
How do you feel?
You were the boxing aficionado. Like, how's it feeling? How's it feeling?
Okay, so
Get over here. Get next to the back, brother.
A lot of the punches, a lot of the punches don't have a feel like an impact.
Okay.
Right? So your nearest competitor will be Fight Night, right? So that's you know, older than graphically, HDR wise, it looks phenomenal. The movement.
How was that movement with the up on
It's better.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's better than Fight Night movement. Impact of punches, I say it's harder because you're doing it in a 3D space. So what you're trying to do, like I didn't feel like the gut punches.
Okay.
Like, I didn't feel.
So you want a little bit more impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jabs, right hands,
Jabs, nice.
hooks over the top.
Now we're talking about a lot of variations. You said with the jabs and the way you do
Yeah,
it.
so I mean the directional punching is really important, right? So you can throw that jab forward, you can throw it backward, you can throw like a pivot jab. Right?
What I noticed, okay, so like going into that, what I noticed when I was doing my movements, right? So normally when you do a step back jab, you look at the feet. So when he stepped back and he jabbed, he shortened the jab off on the distance. It's a keep back jab. But when I was coming in forward, he stepped into it, leaned into the jab, and I hit Roy head back.
Yeah.
So I understood that the positioning of the punches played a whole big part in it. So it's more stuff in it than Fight Night, right? My little nitpick as far as, you know, impact is a nitpick because there's too many nuances going on at the same time. So overall, they caught everything. But I want him to get a chance to redeem himself with a character that he don't have a built-in excuse for.
I think that was...
No.
This is carryover from Street Fighter.
No, that's a sweep too. That's a sweep too.
This is 3 fights.
You said no rematch.
Yeah, it's the no rematch. That's the whole person.
Okay, so you just want to take your L and leave. Okay.
All I'm saying is that
I'm giving him the opportunity.
7 rounds in a row.
So you want a rematch?
I give him the opportunity. So we just want to see if it's going to be live power.
Okay, we can do another one. We can try another one.
Talk to me too.
He said it, sure. We pick people in the same division.
Winner, Joe Lewis.
Only one of the greatest of all time.
Only
In the heavyweight division.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Oh, you can control it. You can back out.
Back out. Give one more. See some of So as far as like with classes and stuff, are we sticking kind of heavyweight?
All right, so
are we kind of limited that for heavyweight?
You want to do heavyweight, middleweight? What do you want to do? We got middleweight.
We have some weight classes combined, right? So for example,
So
welterweight is 147 and 154.
Okay, so you have some flexibility.
what about Earl Spence? You have Earl Spence?
No, Earl.
Earl costs a lot.
He ain't got the truth. Oh, okay.
We got Bud.
This is an
Nah, I don't care about Bud. Bud be ducking. I can't get Bud. Bud's be
Shaun
ducking.
Porter.
Shaun Porter. Good. Okay. So you don't have PBC fighters?
I mean, we don't sign based on where they're, you know, I mean, we probably have, I'm trying to think who we have that's a PBC fighter.
No, I don't. That's why I didn't see them. That's why. No, there's no knock on it. It's just seeing
what we doing?
I'm gonna show you how to use Roy.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna show you how to use Roy.
Pick Sugar.
Yeah, pick Sugar. Pick Sugar. Go classic.
See, there goes the back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you took Sugar Ray Robinson?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, because you picked
No.
the legend, so you're gonna pick the legend.
It's only right. It's only right.
Listen, it's no problem. He picked God.
Oh, it's God now.
Yeah, no. Sugar Ray Robinson's God.
I understand.
Nah, but go wherever you like. Wherever you feel he's good at. Wherever you feel that, you know.
Take it to Brooklyn. Empire.
I want to see that crowd.
All right.
Let's go.
This is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Carl Frost. Yeah. They got a lot, but
Really respect the ambition of the studio.
I gotta tweet at
the boxing community has been
I gotta tweet at these guys
dying.
to get them to get the PVC what you call it these guys fighting. That's strange.
To get it out there now, have calculated,
Yep.
giving us feedback.
Got the palm producer.
Again, it's that Sheffield bouquet.
There you go.
Yeah, so studios, man.
Different Roy too. Look at the body.
I'm in
Yeah.
yeah, our studio is out there.
Nice.
Question.
Yes.
This Roy body frame looks different than heavyweight Roy's body frame. Do y'all account for mass when y'all are doing it? Because
Could be wrong, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
it looks like it's different. His body looks different.
Sugar Ray.
Yeah, this is I gotta go. I'm gonna beat God.
No excuses, Roy.
Nah, it takes a God to beat God.
That's your excuse now, Roy. Old classic talk with Roy. Trash talk.
Yeah.
Get it in. So yeah, they talking about career mode. It's gonna happen. They're gonna have a single player mode. But right now,
They got Roy's peanut head. I don't care.
Yeah, they got it. They
Win
got it.
with the peanut head.
they got it.
Yeah, Pensacola in the building. Boy,
Yo, look at the stare
Yeah,
down.
I know,
I like
yeah.
the stare down.
Ray's a monster.
Let's get it.
I should have took Jake LaMotta.
Well, don't forget loose mode too. I want to see loose.
I ain't gonna get loose with this
We're
dude.
gonna get loose. Oh, look at Roy pump the jab. Oh, Roy pump the jab.
See that Roy left hook?
Yeah, gotta see that hook.
What's it there?
Ooh, look at Roy. Okay. She's ready like a killer.
Yeah.
Like a killer. Now, as far as like defensive moves, like how you got standard block, high block, all
Yeah, so you can block high, block low. There's a dodge. You kind of flick the stick in basically any of the four directions
Okay.
to be able to dodge. So you can get off the side, come in, come out. You can weave. You can weave and block at the same time.
Weave and block at the same time.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then we have slips that are like pushed in on the left trigger, like while you're hitting the direction.
Okay.
So you can do those quick.
Quick slip.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to do a rear slip, you could do that kind of like full counter type of
Fire.
Like that. Nah, you gotta punch yourself out. Punch yourself
In
out.
terms of without a knockout, like as far I don't know how detailed you can talk about this, but in terms of the decision and the judging, what are they looking for?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So you'll notice as you're playing the game, every 3 rounds you'll get a predictive scorecard that'll pop up at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
But it's kind of like the TV talking.
Yeah, this is what we think.
It's not the real one.
Not the real one, right.
So what we've actually got is a pool of several dozen judges. And
Woo!
they,
Get about it, Roy. You
they
did not
care
look good
about all
on
the
that.
things that you would care about, in a real fight, but they may care about certain things a little bit more than others.
Gotcha.
So within that pool, so that there's variety in terms of the judging. So like one judge might care more about your connect percentage.
Ooh, boy.
Another judge might favor power punches a little bit more, favor defense a little bit more. So to try to recreate that feeling of suspense
It
in
ain't
the
right.
fight, right? Because what you don't want to have is I see my predictive scorecard, and it's round 9, and I know I lost the fight.
Yep.
Right?
Woo,
And so,
stay away from him,
actually, you get
boy.
to that moment now.
Hell
put that right like that.
Nah, his head ain't
Reading about the
look good.
predictive scorecard, you're like, nah, that's not right.
Yeah, I
and
got you.
you get to the decision and you
Is
find
there
out.
actual recovery going on here in terms of your power, your levels coming
Yeah,
up?
in between rounds, a lot of stuff is stat driven. Like there's not anything you have to do here.
Okay.
But you'll notice like it tracks for things like head damage and stuff like that. So, there's damage in the game. You can cut somebody. You see a cut, start hitting that cut, right? Like you can maybe.
Can we stop the fight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got way more than fight now.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed, like you said, we talk about the judging. It kind of reminds me of MLB The Show with kind of like the personality umpires, right? So you're saying with the judging,
you see that?
one might favor power punches more, another might favor connect percentage, that kind of thing, which adds to the suspense, which adds to the unpredictability a little bit based on the judges involved.
Yeah, and sometimes you see that in boxing, right? Where two judges see it one way, one sees it a little bit different. We want it to feel right, we want it to feel fair, and judging is definitely like the thing we're continuing to balance and tune. Like we got, now that we're in early access, like that's the best part of it, right? It's like we're getting so much feedback everything about stamina to damage to how does this fighter rating need to be different, you know, all that kind of stuff. Judging has definitely been a part of that as well. I think some of the judges right now are probably better than others. Some of them might need a little bit of work.
Somebody a little work.
That's a little bit, and that's part of the early access experience. It's super helpful for us to be able to get that feedback, understand what people are thinking. And yeah, they'll start calling judges out by name, right?
Oh, they call it judges. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you know, the judge.
Oh, Roy's in trouble.
Oh, no.
Roy's in trouble. Oh, no. He must have forgot how to block. What's going on? Oh, the sugar's on him. Sugar's on him.
Nah,
Solve a story.
Roy head ain't right.
Oh,
Nah, you ain't gonna get that off, boy.
Roy's trying to get his things together.
You ain't gonna get that off.
Oh, champ, let's go to legend.
Nah, he good. You miss me, baby.
Okay.
It's those counters.
Some counters. Oh, that head Roy. Protect that.
Nah, he can't put his gloves up.
He can't put his gloves on.
Nah, it's certain things when he get hit.
Is that because he's in there free fall?
Nah, I'm not in free fall.
No, it's his particular block.
Oh, it's his block stance.
It's his block stance. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So Roy's gonna keep, you know, when you pull that block.
Oh God, Jesus.
Yeah, see, look, his hands go like that, you see?
If you go into weave though while you're blocking, you should be able to get him to pull those.
Yeah, he pulls his hands up, yeah. Nah, you ain't gonna get him. I'm gonna stay away from him. And I know you don't know how to finish. Look at Roy. Roy like, yeah, whatever, man. I said, man, I just gotta take this dude to deep water, man.
No doubt. Finish it up here.
Yeah. Nah, he ain't gonna finish nothing. Nah, he ain't gonna finish nothing.
You gonna leave it where it is?
Nah, no, we fighting.
Okay.
But he ain't gonna finish me.
Okay. Talking that talk.
Boy, put your hands up.
Roy head is out there, exposed for the people.
Oh, that's. I didn't.
So what?
So with Roy, when you're trying to evade, push in the left stick like that, and you can slip. You see that? You just did a rear slip right there.
Yeah.
And then you can come back off that and throw that right hand.
You can count off the slip.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, but the problem with Roy is,
time it right now.
yeah, that timing. Yeah,
Roy.
I don't like how he bouncing up, shit, bouncing up all the way.
Now, if Roy gonna have to go down, Roy head don't right. Roy head ain't right there.
So I'm talking that talk.
Yeah, let's go.
So get up both. Definitely. How do we do that?
Yeah, so he's got it figured out, I think, but it's you gotta
keep it.
Oh, it's tough.
You gotta keep it in between. Yeah, no. Yeah. So we both found out that Roy sucked.
We both found out.
Yeah. When Roy fight legends, he ain't, he sucked.
I'll accept no Roy slander.
No Roy slander here.
Not just because I love Roy, but because he knows where to find him.
Exactly.
100%, and everything they kept it 100%. You know when Roy get wobbled, right? His hand didn't go up. In the first round, I was able to do a lot of stuff. Like when Shaun was, he was moving. It was all good.
Yeah.
I love the fatigue.
Yeah.
I love the fatigue, and it's like you lose a little bit of yourself every round. So more damage you take, you're going into that next round a little bit less of yourself, right? So Roy's footwork was a little bit slower. His hand speed was a little bit slower, and his movement was a little bit, slow, diminished. I love that fact because a lot of boxing games don't cover that, right? So y'all.
We're trying to make it as authentic as we can, man.
I see y'all got Showbiz the Adult. And you guys was working with him. See, I do my own boxing on Saturday, Combat Talk with the King. I know Benavidez fights Caleb Plant this weekend.
Showbiz was one of the people real early on that was making videos about the game. So, it's funny, during the pandemic, right, we wanted to have an event, but with COVID going on, we couldn't fly everybody out to the UK. So him and a couple of other guys just came to my house in North Carolina and we just played the game.
I saw the video. I saw when they came and I saw everything. I've been following you guys for a minute.
That's
it's really good stuff.
So look, Undisputed, early access right now, right?
Yeah.
Where can the people finally get their hands on it when they're looking for release? And what can they do to support the game?
I don't have a date for you for release. We're working our way through early access. We want to get there as soon as possible. We'll be on console. We'll be on PS4. PS5.
Yes.
We'll be on Xbox S and X. I mean, to support us, like if you're on Steam, you can check us out on Early Access or wish list us. We'll follow our social channels. And yeah, just talk to us.
Bigger question. The DLC. Yeah, because being that Bud is running, we want the DLC so we can actually make the fight. But I've noticed like Benavidez, Caleb Plant, and there's a huge contingent of boxers like the Charlo brothers, right? So I got to tweet PBC or something because
we got to get
they got to
this
get
up.
those fighters.
And Arrow, stop playing. Arrow Spence, stop playing.
We do have plans. We got plans.
You got Caleb? All right, so then that he's probably not.
We don't have Benavidez, we don't have Charlo, but we do have plans.
Okay, shout out to playing.
I'm trying to think. PBC,
PBC guys, and I noticed that kind of takes a huge chunk out of today's boxing.
Right.
Now, as far as legacy boxes, they everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people that will sign with us later on at some point, right? Like we reach out to everybody that's relevant to reach out to.
Question, right? We knew the EA biggest problem was the licenses, right? To license each fighter. And when they kind of went away from it, it was because of Floyd. Floyd asked for so much money to be a licensed fighter. Did you find that as an obstacle in getting these fighters to be licensed or to the game? Or
it's a complicated question, right? Because like with the boxing game, you're licensing everybody individually. Right? The things that people care about are going to be different, right? Like, and so. For us, I mean, we'll never assume somebody just wants to be in our game. Like we want people to want to be in the game, right? And if there's a way to make it happen, if we can make it work, we'll figure it out. We want to have the best fighters in the world. There's certainly fighters that we're talking to, right? Or that as the game continues to grow and be successful, that we'll be able to sign. For us, this is not like we drop the game and it's all over, right? Like we want to build and support this game.
That was my next follow-up question. My follow-up question is, do you have a cap on where you at? Like you're like, oh, listen, we can't keep pursuing more people. We can put a cap here for right now, and then we can do DLC later and bring in more characters and keep the game refreshing, because in the boxing world, new fighters emerge every day, right? So that will keep the game fresh. It looks like the graphics is forever, right? A long time. And you have the plate mechanics that is forever. But as far as the ever-changing boxing rosters,
so I mean, it's really about as fast as we can put fighters in the game and make them look good and make them look right. So that's more of like just a resource and time thing. There's always going to be looking to put more fighters into the game. Like I said, we've got 59-60 right now in early access. We've already put 3 fighters in that we didn't have at the start of early access. We're going to be putting more in. I mean, I think we'll look out for those opportunities. Right now, for sure, it's not a priority to just sign as many fighters as we can. We've already got so many. So we got to make them all.
Exactly.
right? But I mean, I think the door is open. If somebody steps up, I mean, there's, like I said, you're fighting a boxing fan. There's definitely people out there that always have potential that in the next 18 months, 2 years, all of a sudden somebody steps up, has a big win, that would make sense for us to sign. Definitely the doors open for that.
I mean, it looks great, sounds fantastic. I can't wait.
An absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Undisputed.
Thank you guys.
The Lord's Gaming.net. The Lord played it here first. Go check that out.